Dream now, hold on. Mind you, it doesn't help because how crap we've been, mind. You know, sometimes that gives you a bit of a pick-me-up as well, like when the team does well.
It doesn't help me, does it? Definitely not.
Oh, but we're live anyway. We'll just turn this down. How you doing, Richie? All right?
Sound, mate. Just like I was saying there, I think I caught a bit of flu. So, so if I'm a little bit off tonight, I'm sorry. But apart from that, mate, I'm really good. Just obviously a bit disappointed with the weekend. But obviously we'll dive into that. How are you, bud?
Yeah, I have to say I'm still recovering. Just I was tight today at work. Just couldn't get motivated. But you know, I definitely think it's been COVID that's been hanging about. Like, because I've just I can't to work really bother if I've got a cold. But this has been like something else. Just totally just drained.
Killer, like, mate. It's a killer.
Oh, you know. Right then. Where do we start? I mean, of course, it doesn't help. I mean, you want a bit of a pick-me-up for Sunderland against Hull City, but to me, Hull City didn't win that game. We gave them it.
They were very good on the counter, though. We definitely did. We handed them on the plate, 100%. But I thought, you know, that they had the counter on every single time, but because we're playing that high line, a lot of teams are sussing that out. I'm sure I sat down the last stream as well. They had like 3 or 4 players countering against two lads sitting at the back. It was quite devastating, to be fair, and it was good what they did. But yeah, you were right. The performance, it was just like, yeah, this the result for you guys. You know what I mean? There was just nothing, mate. It was poor. It was lethargic. It looked like they were just so tired. It was just, I didn't get it because at the start of the season, and I'm sure Jacob mentioned this last week as well, we were smashing teams. We were lethal up top, and we were creating chances, but we were finishing these chances as well. We were playing with a lot of confidence, and I don't know where that's gone at the moment. I don't know whether, you know, it's something to do, you know, that we're not knowing about. As fans, there could be something that's going on. Like, they're buying into some methods, we just don't know these things. And another thing as well, I'm thinking, I mean, this is just a guess, but is he overtraining them? Is he pushing them too hard and training
There's some going on, isn't there?
Right, there has to be, mate. There has to be, because it's just up and down constantly, and we're just not going to get anywhere without that. Whatever's going on needs to be figured out.
I mean, I don't know. I just get this kind of vibe around the club at the minute that, you know, we're not even guaranteed the playoffs, because I mean we just seem to be in this mindset. Today, with the body language of them players, it was awful to see, and I can't see where our next win's going to come from if we continue with that mindset the way we were set up against Hull. It's like after that Leeds defeat, it's like that Hull City game was like nobody wanted to be on that pitch. Just nobody was interested in being there.
Yeah.
And it was like, I just felt sorry for all the Sunderland fans, to be honest with you. That's made an effort there to turn up to the stadium. It was a decent crowd, and I just can't see where the next win's going to come from. I mean, Ballard injured now, and we've got of course Lafayette injured, and I'm hearing news that the fact like the lad from Liverpool, I don't think we're going to see him for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And that is disgusting from the board. If that is the case, that the Liverpool lad is not even going to make an appearance, and to have the audacity to, when we signed him, showing you him signing the books, You know what I mean? And not to play. It's just an absolute pee take to the Sunderland fans. It's an insult. It is. Just going to read the chat. Steve Martin says, "Hi guys." He says, "Why do we get injuries after injuries?" Kingfisher says, "Please like and subscribe." Hello, Kingfisher. Ian Brown says, "Where's Big Davey? But we have the next big thing." Yeah, Big Davey's moving house. He'll be with us in a couple of weeks or so. So he's got a lot going on at the moment. Disappointed against Hull and now Lefay out. It's that whole City game. It's almost like Sunderland have just threw the towel in. It's like they were like Warriors against Leeds United, especially in that first half. And I can understand mentally that must have shot them to bits when they lost that game, because it did us with us Sunderland fans. We were knackered afterwards, and I think that's just really took the wind out of the sails of the Sunderland players. And it's almost like they sort of give up on Saturday. It's like, well, the top two's gone now. That was the kind of attitude I got. It was like, why bother? It's like, that's it. The top two's now. It's now gone. That's just the attitude I had. I mean, Isidore, yeah, he was all right, but he seems to make easy job of scoring difficult goals and makes a right pig's ear of putting away easy chances. Didn't he?
Yeah. But I still feel a little bit sorry for him, though. I must admit, Cabby. He's I just don't think he's been supplied right, really. I think, he is great on getting on the end of those long balls and finding space, to get in behind the defenders, and, but he's got to be supplied some other way. That can't just be his game, We can't just keep doing that either, because we're going to get thrust out too easily.
Of course we are.
Know how to do it. And that's got to stop. It really has. We've got to get that link-up play from the midfield to that attack. There's nobody doing it, and there was nobody doing it on Saturday either. The midfield, in my opinion, on Saturday was awful.
It was non-existent.
It was just the worst performance I've ever seen by the three of them together.
It was like Joe Bellingham, especially. He was like he was hiding. It's like he didn't want to be on that pitch. I don't know. It was, look, Hull City. Look, they weren't all that. I'm not trying to pull them down, because look, they've went away to Millwall and won, and they beat Sheffield United 3-0 away. They're no mugs when they want to be, Hull. But I didn't think they were all that at the Stadium of Light. I just think we just offered absolutely nothing. Not a thing. And I feel as if we're stuck in a bit of a rut. Because the hype and the excitement of the top two seems to have just disappeared like a fart in the breeze. We will not win Sheffield Wednesday on Friday with that attitude. And it may seem a lot of points, like with 12 points, to an advantage of being in the playoffs, from 7th position, or 12-11, but if we keep losing games and the teams keep picking up points below us, that it can soon turn very, very uncomfortable. There's still 12 games or so to play for. And, people say it'll be a disaster. It'll be the biggest thing in the North East since Keegan lost the title with Newcastle. If Sunderland don't make the playoffs this season. But we're capable. Sunderland are capable of pressing that self-destruct button. Because if we get any more injuries, if Isidore guns under, who have we got up front then?
Yeah, you're right, mate. We've got nobody.
We haven't got nothing in strength and depth. I mean, yeah, we're getting Mundell coming back and this and that and the other, but it's just peeing against the wind constantly. It's like no quicker are we getting our players back than we're getting players that are dropping like flies. It's just a hapless task for Sunderland, isn't it?
Yeah. Like we've been hit with some sort of bad luck, isn't it? Like,
aye.
It's just you couldn't have called it, because Saturday I thought, get in, we've got the full squad back. you know, the lads are coming back here. It looked very positive, but looked really strong as well. You know, had a bit of a strong bench, but Dan Bollard, you know, he's come back, and you know, he's been solid straight away.
I know.
Not left him out the team. He's kept him out the team. So he's gone for what, 8 weeks now, isn't he? And then obviously we've signed the fee, and again he's probably been, in my opinion, between him, Riggy, and Roberts, the most creative players that we've got. So we've lost him now, but we're lucky, like you said, that we've got Mundell and Watson coming back to sort of cover that. But now we're going to be relying on Rig. You know, he's not going to get a break unless, you know, Alan Brown comes in. But is he going to offer the same thing as what Chris Rig can? I don't think he can.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to catch up on the chat again if my bloody cough left me. Ian Brown, hello Ian, he says Liverpool knew he was certainly injured, not even in the playoffs. We got scammed and don't even have a strong replacement. Durham Diver says, hello Durham, he says, evening lads, listening along to your show, it's all doom and gloom. We need something to happen to get out of this poor run we are having. Richie Renwick says, third injured player we've signed this year. Speakman out. He thinks it's a disgrace, and it is a point. Like we have signed 3 injured players. I mean, which football club does that? You know, how is that a message to get out of this championship and to get into the Premier League by signing 3 injured players? We've waited for this long for Samed, and he's awful. We've waited all that time, and he hasn't impressed me, and he's certainly not impressed a lot of the Sunderland fans.
It's desperation, isn't it? Really, like signing like injured players, it makes us look desperate.
Colin Meir just says, do you think it's because Dodds is leaving has affected the team? And how you doing, Colin, by the way? There's a lot of Sunderland fans seem to think Sunderland have not been the same team since Dodds has left, but I don't know. Do you think there's Sunderland have lost a little bit of the team spirit since Dodds has gone? That togetherness, do you think, isn't as there as much?
No, it's another thing we don't know, but try because a lot of the young, you know, we've got a young team, but everybody knows that Doddsy was really good with the young'uns, and a lot of them looked up to him.
Yeah.
And a lot of them used to go to him if they didn't feel comfortable going back to the manager, they would go to him, look for a bit of inspiration. So, you know, there's every possibility there's a hangover from him going. You know, it's like if you put it in your own life, if you're, you know, in a job and, you know, you're looking for somebody at work for inspiration and that person leaves, it's going to have a bit of effect on you in real life. So why not with these young lads that we've got? You must have had an effect on the team to obviously even get this rumoured, and I believe it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'll rule it out. But we can't just blame it on that, though. We can't.
No. Not at all. David Walker says, Isidore is getting no help at all. Can't do everything himself. And we've just said that. Of course he can't. It's amazing he's got 12 goals. Yes, Carl Wingfield says, hello. Fart in the breeze. He says, Steve Martin says, Ballard's injury prone. I do agree. No longer is Ballard back in the squad. He's out again. He does seem injury prone like Ballard. I'd have to agree with that one. Durham Diver says, something has happened at the club and upset the team. David Walker says, 1-0 to Sheffield United. Sheffield United leads keeper own goal.
Yeah, well, it's interesting.
It's like all of a sudden that result just doesn't matter anymore, does it, for Sunderland? It doesn't, does it, really? I mean, if we'd have beat Hull, I mean, it would have been a thingy. David Walker, 1-0 Sheffield United. But something's happened at the club and upset the team. What do you think about that remark then? I mean, are we overreacting here because we lost against Leeds and we've lost again today? But it just seems to be, I don't know, since Dodds has gone. I mean, we've lost that spark, especially at home. I mean, yeah, we beat Luton, but that wasn't convincingly, was it? We struggled against Plymouth. The Stadium of Light just seems to be, I don't know, it's just a laughing stock at the minute. Well, it is.
Yeah, it's just, I think we're expecting a little bit too much as well. I mean, don't get us wrong, mate, right? I would love, honestly, I love it where we are. I'd love to see we're back in the Premier League again. Of course I would. It's every fan's dream. But we've got to remember, we've been, through, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but we have been through the run of the mill here. And apart from that season we had under Mowbray when we got in the playoffs, we've never achieved anything else since then. Now we're there. There's every chance we can, and we can, even if we make the playoffs, there's still a chance that we can still get promoted. Are we as fans expecting a little bit too much from them? I don't know whether I'm right and wrong in saying that, but possibly. And is there too much pressure on the players to achieve that? Are they feeling the pressure every time they play at home now? Because yes, they deserve to get. Look, they do deserve to get stick from what happened on Saturday, but I don't agree that they deserve to get that booed that badly.
Look, a lot of that I think was down to frustration. I mean, look, let's be realistic here, right? That was a blatant penalty we should have got. Right, if they're kicking off at the Newcastle game against VAR, that was a penalty, and Forrest handballed it, then ours was 100 times more of a penalty than that. His hand hit the ball, changed the trajectory of the ball, and Luke O'Nien couldn't get out of the ball because it hit his hand. And you're talking fine margins, because that, whether you like it or not, that should have been a penalty and a glorious chance to make it 1-1. It could have been. And we're just not getting the rub of the green with the refs, are we?
No.
I mean, you've still got to score the thing. I mean, you're not guaranteed a goal, but I mean, it could have been a game changer, that. Kingfisher79 says Sunderland fans are sick of constant injuries for season after season. He says we're playing them too much and don't have the reserves to keep the energy levels up. Need to get promoted to have the money to do it. And it is, we just always seem to be getting played with injuries, and the trouble is we haven't got the strength and depth to replace that when it happens. Not the likes, look at Leeds and Sheffield United and Burnley and stuff. They can just keep rotating the squad and you don't even notice. But when Sunderland, they can't really rotate the squad with so much effect, just because of the fact we ain't got that in depth. As I said, if Isidore gets injured, who the hell we got then to bang the goals? Steve Martin says you have to pass a medical to sign a player. So how did we? I don't know whether that's different if it's a loanee. I don't know, a loan player. And David Water says no, it don't matter with the Sheffield United result.
I think what happened with that medical, Cabby, from what I know anyway, is Liverpool's medical team cleared him. And obviously they've sent him to Sunderland. And then obviously Sunderland's doing their medical on him as well. In the back, it was actually the Sunderland medical team that found something wrong with his back.
Well, and
went back to Liverpool, and then they say, well, we've never found out. So that's... I think that, I don't know whether that's right, but that's basically what I've heard about it.
Well, I mean, that's mad, isn't it? Because you think if anybody's going to have the better facilities to find out injuries, it's going to be Liverpool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. You would think, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Please like and subscribe, says Kingfisher. Thank you very much. I don't know. I just think it's gonna bite them in the backside hard. This January transfer window has been an absolute disaster. And the fans are going to start turning on to Speakman and that again. If we turn a drastic run of form, and we could start slipping out of the playoffs, because it's not impossible. Just because we're 11 points ahead doesn't mean that we are there home and dry. Because to bloody hell, far from it, we're not. We're not home and dry at all. I mean, Coventry, Blackburn, West Brom, they're coming good at the minute. We keep losing games, they keep winning. That 11 points just doesn't just reduces drastically, doesn't it? I mean, two games on the bounce if we lose, and they win, they've already clawed that 6 points. And if, like I say, do you think Sunderland felt sorry for themselves against Hull City? Then do you think that's what could have been the reason, or what was it? Do you think they're burnt out, they're knackered?
Could be a number of things, really. It could be everything that you've just mentioned. You know what I mean? It could be the hangover from the Leeds game. It could be because they're absolutely exhausted. Have they had the right recovery time from the Leeds game to actually go into this game with it being an early kickoff? Not saying that maybe affected it, but it could.
There's a few fans and I've mentioned that as well, about the fact, like, surely it cannot help all these kick-off times and stuff. It's like Friday it's 8 o'clock and then 12:30 on the Saturday, and then a Monday kick-off and all that. That's like, Christ almighty, it's like you're just getting put through the ringer left, right and centre, man, with kick-off times, and they don't just do it with us and all that, like, but I don't know, it just seems to put more pressure on when you know what a team's already done, right? Or not like when you're all playing on a Saturday afternoon and, like, anybody knows what anybody else is doing. It's bound to affect the kids, the young kids, if they know what they've got to do because of previous result. Either they've played like on a Monday against Leeds United, do you know what I mean? We all knew what the other results were. Do you know what I mean? That's a lot of pressure on the kids, that, to, like, to perform. It's like when was it the Friday night when Sheffield United lost at home 3-0 against Hull City? Once again, because we already know the result of the Sheffield United game, that's piling more pressure onto the kids to perform against Plymouth. Do you know what I mean? You can't tell me that doesn't affect the team, because it will do.
100%, yeah. I agree.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rather than, like, if we're all kicking off at 3 o'clock, then I just think it's fairer on every team. If everybody was kicking off at the same time, nobody knows each other's business, you're getting on with your game. That pressure on them kids to come running out against Plymouth saying, "Oh, Christ almighty," they'll have felt the fans breathing on the necks when they just walked out on that pitch against Plymouth. They're thinking, like, "Oh, we better win today, lads, because Sheffield United lost." The weight was massive on the shoulders because of that.
It's all down to money, man.
Of course it is.
It's a brown envelope, isn't it?
Hello, Jacob. When did you arrive?
Been here for a while. I've just been trying to jump in.
Oh, dear me. Then, Jacob, give us your take on
Hull.
On the Hull match.
And what do you, as to say.
Yeah. What do you reckon?
Shambles won it. Just didn't seem like they wanted it. I mean, Hull weren't great either, but we should have had a penalty, which could have been a game changer, because some decisions and goals can change games. But I think the goal we conceded was just worse than Mesler. Can't believe it. But I'm just watching Leeds game as well.
What's happened with the Meslier own goal? What happened there? Like, was that as bad as Pato's against Hull?
Don't know if it was as bad as Patterson's, but wasn't great still.
What did he do? Like, did he drop it? Did he fumble it, or?
It bounced and then they were fumbling, and then I think it went in or something. One of them. The save to start with, and then Sheffield player pretty much heads it in. And it came off Mesler, so I think Sheffield player headed it and it must have bounced off Mesler.
I'll just take this phone call, hold on.
It might be falling apart now, Leeds. That'd just be funny if they start falling now.
So they're singing it for them, yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's funny. And also Farker is not on the touchline. I think he's on some sort of scaffolding watching the game.
Who's that?
Farker, Leeds manager. I think he's got a ban or something. So he's on this. Yeah. Must have been from our game. I think it's. And then one of their players shouted at our players, didn't they? Boogle, I think it was, shouting at Dan Neil.
I did. He wasn't very happy at then, not much, Dan Neil.
I just don't know why Leeds are shouting in players' faces like, what?
Who's getting the better of who at the minute then?
I feel like slightly Sheffield are better, but wouldn't be surprised me though if Leeds come back like I won't be surprised if Leeds do the same as what they did against us.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a repeat of that. Sheffield seem a better team at the minute, but you just never know. And plus, it's a Yorkshire derby, isn't it? West Yorkshire versus South Yorkshire.
Can we go on to the Patterson situation? Because I'll keep this short and sweet, honestly. And this is, again, just my opinion and how I would do it, honestly. But I've heard since Saturday, like, Sunderland fans just drop him. And I said on Saturday, I think I said it in anger, really, to be honest, he needs dropped. I'm sick of him, etc., obviously. And it's the same that seems to be coming from other Sunderland fans as well. But I watched the game back again. And then obviously I was thinking about it, you know what I mean? With Patterson, he's getting a lot of stick at the minute, and I get it. He's not commanding his area very well. His distribution and his passing shocking. But at the same time, Patterson has made some really crucial saves for us this season. And a few times this season, we've always said, you know, he's class. He's probably one of the best keepers in the Championship. We've all said it. I think we've been a little harsh sometimes with the comments especially made against him, because he has been the best keeper we've had in a very long time. He's a young lad. He's come through our academy. And, you know, he's got himself to the top. But I think at the minute, what needs to happen is him and Libery need to sit down and they need to talk. They need to say, you know, what's going on? You know, there's been a few situations this season. You've made some major errors. You've done it again on Saturday. What's going on? Because we can't have it. Is it a morale thing? Is it a drop in form? That's what, you know, they're going to have to figure out between them. Now, on Saturday, in Patterson's defence, I believe that we've made a massive error putting Paddy Roberts on that near post, because a lot of teams now are swinging that ball into near post areas. A lot of teams are doing it. It's either near post or far post, but a lot of them go to near post. Why are we sticking the smallest player we've got in the pitch at that near post? Why are we not sticking somebody else at that near post to give Patterson the cover? What is the point in putting Roberts there? Because Patterson is going to be on edge. If that ball comes in, he knows he's going to have to get up and get a hold of it and get rid of it. Why am I not sticking the likes of Job or Dan Neil or, you know, even Isidore on that front post in case those balls come in? That's all I can say in his defence. The reason that ball went in my opinion, on Saturday is because he couldn't command his area. It's simple as that. He didn't give Roberts a shout.
It's simple communication, isn't it?
Yeah, he didn't scream in his face, oh, you know, this is mine. He didn't. And that's where the confusion come from. Why did Roberts try and jump for that ball in anyway? It's gone right over his head. So why doesn't he just leave it, believing his keeper's just going to come back and claim that, because that's what he was doing. But again, the error went straight through his hands. You know, I thought he should have done better than that. But I noticed in another 2 occasions in the game, he made 2 outstanding saves again. Because there was another corner that come in, exactly the same thing, and he got a hold of that, because that was a tremendous save, and it was another one in the second half was the same. There was a ball whipped over, and he got a hold of it, and it was a cracking save. But again, is it a team confidence thing? Is it certain individuals in the team that need a rest, they need a break, like Patterson being one, and is maybe, in my opinion, maybe drop him for the next game, or give him an ultimatum and say, right, listen, these performances need to improve, starting with Sheffield Wednesday. If you let us down again, or if these, you know, if your performances don't, you know, get any better, then that's it. You dropped. End of story. I don't believe putting Simon Moore in goal or any other keeper and replace him on the next match is going to do him any good at all. If anything's going to knock his confidence, but he's got to improve his game. It's as simple as that. We've bought a new goalkeeper coach. One thing we'll be working on these things that he's struggling on. Because if not, he is going to get dropped and we'll just replace him. And I don't want that seeing that happen, especially coming through our academy. We need to keep these players.
It's his constant commanding in the box, isn't it? And let's face it, these other teams know that weakness. I mean, the amount of times the ball's getting pummeled into the 18-yard area, the 6-yard area, and they know Sunderland flap. They know Pato, you know, he doesn't like to command his box and stuff, and every time the ball's pumped in that direction, there's problems. And the teams have done their own work. You know, they're not daft. Oh, let's just put the ball into where Pato is and stuff and all that. They're an absolute mess when you do that. He's all right when he's like if having a shot from say 20 yards out or something like that. But they're not daft. The teams are doing the homework. They're just Pato's just absolutely hopeless when it comes to like in the box. Yes, darling. 2 minutes, pet. It's going to
It just needs to be, you know. I don't know how Labrie works behind the scenes, like, but I hope he's not being soft on these players. He needs to put some discipline into one or two of them, 100%. He needs to give them that boot up the backside and say, right, listen, no matter who you are on this team, if you're not putting that performance in and week out and consistently doing it, you're dropped.
Well,
end of story.
Durham Divers just says...
Paveda got left behind, didn't he? Paveda for being late, so I don't think Reggie's a soft touch, is he? I do think he might be some sort of Roy Keane or Peter Reid, but... You know, he can't be a soft manager if he's left a player behind for being late, can he?
Well, Durham Divers just said, some of Labrie's tactics absolutely baffle and frustrate me. He says, at home, we should be playing 4-4-2. He says, his half-time team talks just don't seem to work. He says, they've come out playing worse in the second half. I didn't see any improvement second half against Hull. Nothing at all. Absolutely no improvement whatsoever. Dougie says, hello guys, hope you're well. Colin Major says, we need a bloody priest to bless the stadium and the team because I'm sure this club is cursed. It says, ever since the Pope blessed us. David Walker says, all Sheffield United at the moment. Pato is overrated, sadly. I don't know, it's just, I keep seeing glimmers like against the Hull City game in sort of, it's like some of the teams like lost faith in Labrie in a way, just the way the team spirit's vanished and the way they sort of look clueless and stuff. It's like nobody knows what the roles are, what they're doing, and that's just the feeling I'm getting at the minute, especially watching that Hull game, similar to the Plymouth match. I just get this feeling that the could Regis Labrie starting to, I don't know, lose his touch. Are the players starting to stop believing in him? Because if we put in another shite show against Sheffield Wednesday on Friday and we get beat to 2 or 3 and out, then you've got to start asking questions, haven't you?
That's what I'm saying. Cabby, we're doing it now. What's going on behind the scenes? If there is, I might just be being paranoid, you know what I mean? But as fans, we've got to sort of really look at all areas, not just what's happening on the pitch. Because it could be something behind. I don't know, like, if, you know, it does happen to managers, but I don't know whether it would happen this early on, because he hasn't really been here really that long now, so it's only been his first season, but they already doubt it already, but so it is a difficult one to really like answer, really, isn't it? I mean,
a lot of fans are saying because the top two's gone, Sunderland have like lost the hunger. But yet again, what about all them times when the top two was wide open? Like, keep going back to that Plymouth game. It's like so it can't be them feeling disheartened because of the fact like the top two's like knackered because they've had so many chances to close the gap when the door's being opened and they haven't.
But they've got to be aware, though, what's happening below them, because like you said, Cabbie, there's every chance we can drop out of these playoffs, no problem. I mean, Coventry at the moment, they're absolutely flying up the league. I'm not sure. I remember looking at the league, but there's a number of teams just below the playoffs. They're all on similar points. And each of them can break in to the playoffs. And if Blackburn and West Brom keep winning the games, and we're still struggling, obviously we're going to just drop down, and then we could eventually drop out.
Can you see, honestly, I mean, I'll give my opinion, and I don't think we'll make it through the playoffs, the way we are going on over these last few weeks, the way we've been so inconsistent. And there's too much long spells in games where we're just awful. And I just can't see us getting to the playoff final. I think we'll fall after the second leg. I don't know what it is. I just think we've not got... How can I put it? We just seem to have lost that belief and team spirit. And then you're looking at the likes of your West Broms and your Coventries and stuff. They seem to be flying at the minute. They're all buzzing. Do you know what I mean? We just seem to be like the gas has gone out the lemonade. We're flat. We're absolutely flat. And if we have that attitude going into the playoffs, it's good night Vienna, I'm afraid, because we will not get through. But there's no way on earth chance we'll beat the likes of Coventry. If we play Coventry in the first leg, second leg, there's absolutely no cat and hell's chance we'll get past Coventry. Because our team morale and team spirit's just gone. Shot a bit.
How many games we've got left now?
I think, is it 11 or 12?
See, on the flip side of that, we could still put a run together. And if we put a run together maybe towards the end of those fixtures, knowing that we're in the playoffs, then, we could go into the playoffs on tremendous form. But there's every chance what you've just said, Cabbie, there is. And we come up against teams like Coventry and West Brom. We always seem to struggle against teams like that. I mean, they're not great teams to play against anyway, to be fair, but we've got to be careful,
I mean, I'm just going to have a look at the fixtures for Sunday now. Well, obviously we've got Sheffield Wednesday, 8 o'clock kick-off. And then we've got a rare 3 o'clock kick-off at home against Cardiff City. And I'm not saying anymore, we'll turn them over, because I'm sick to the back teeth playing the third or fourth off bottom team, second off bottom team says, we'll steamroll these. I'm not saying it anymore. Because to me, there's no difference between Sunderland playing Cardiff and Sunderland playing Sheffield United or a Burnley. Because it just does not seem to affect Sunderland in any which way, shape or form. Whether when they're playing a team way down in that division, because if anything else, it seems to have the opposite effect on the poorer team coming up here. All I'm going to say for predictions now is Sunderland have to earn it. They have to earn it and get their win. I'm not going to just sit here and say we're fourth off top. I would beat them 3-0, 4-0. I've had enough of saying that now. I've been saying it for months. We're due to hammer someone. It's just not going to happen like that. They've got to earn it. They've got to work hard for 90 minutes. And do you know what I mean? They're not going to just come up here and roll over. They're just simply not. And then we've got another home game after that. That's I think it's a midweek game, 7:45. That's against Preston. Neither of these games. I mean, where's Sunderland's next win going to come from if they've got their... If they play the way they played against Hull and show the team spirit and the attitude, right? Are they going to get a win at Sheffield Wednesday in front of a full Hillsborough? Because there'll be a lot there. That stadium will be pumped. No, I didn't. Sunderland against Cardiff. Once again, the stadium are dead as a dodo with atmosphere because of the way the team's gone on. I can see Sunderland maybe possibly getting a point. Preston, I can see Sunderland maybe getting a point against them. Coventry against Sunderland. We'll all know what's going to happen there, don't we? We just don't beat Coventry full stop. No matter what form we're in, we never seem to beat Coventry. And then we've got Sunderland against Millwall. I mean, you tell me where these... You tell me where these wins are coming from. Sunderland Millwall, West Brom against Sunderland, Norwich against Sunderland, Sunderland against Swansea, Bristol City, who are really, really playing some good football at the moment, Sunderland against Blackburn, Oxford away will play, and then Sunderland against QPR. Looking at them fixtures I've just get off, I could possibly see Sunderland maybe getting 3 wins out of all that lot. And that's
at the minute.
At the minute, the way I feel, the way the club's gone, the way they're playing, like I say, especially at home, 3 games maximum, I'm going to say that one. And the 3 games I would go for is possibly the QPR, would beat QPR, would beat Oxford away, and I think I fancy us sort of at home against Swansea, but that's just cutting it fine. But am I being too negative? You think by saying, "Oh, we're just going to get 3 wins out of our lot"?
I mean, you can only go off what we are like now, because obviously we can't predict the future. We don't know what's gonna. We didn't know what Sunderland's going to turn up every week. We don't know what team, what mentality we're going to have every week. We just didn't know.
Well, January, it's been drew, won, drew, won, drew, won, lost.
So yeah, we lost against Stoke, didn't we? It was 2-1. And then we went on a streak of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 games unbeaten with 3 wins, and then we've lost 2 in a row.
Right. And 2 draws at home.
Yeah. I think what killed us 5 draws in a row.
Oh, God,
yeah, 5 in a row, never lost. So that's, and then it's just an odd loss here and now and again is all right, but like we need to get some of them D's into W's, and you know what I mean, instead. But I'm looking at the fixtures. I think if we come out with the right mentality against Sheffield, we'll beat them. I honestly do. I know I am sometimes a little bit optimistic with it, but I do believe if we get a kick up the backside this week and we turn up, even though we've got the field, I think we'll have a right good go at them.
Would you say the top two's gone?
But it hasn't really though. Second place hasn't gone. Like mathematically, it hasn't. But the way we're playing at the moment, yes, it has. 100%. Have the playoffs gone the way we are playing at the moment? That's potentially. There is every chance that it has. We just need to start getting, we need a boot up the backside, like I keep repeating. We really do. And then we need to, show a lot of improvement, and then we'll know what this team wants and what this manager wants, because at the minute as fans, we don't know where we stand with the team.
Do you think perhaps that the players could be possibly thinking, that's the season done now, sort of thing, because the top two's fizzled away and just about gone? Do you think that maybe he's thinking that maybe it's not so much to play for now? The top two's gone, we're sort of comfortable in the playoffs. Are they getting just a bit complacent?
What an attitude to have, though. The professional footballers, man.
I know it is.
You know what I mean? They get a good wage every week to do what they're doing. Like Roy Keane keeps saying, do your bloody job. And he's right. Just because that's happened, it doesn't mean like, I'm open the boot, we'll just wait at the end of the season, we'll be fine, we'll coast pie. This is why I'm saying we need to boot up the backside now and be giving ultimatums to some players, saying if this does not improve, you are getting dropped. Doesn't matter who they are. In my opinion, if you're not performing, you could be Cristiano Ronaldo. In my opinion, if you're not performing, I'm going to drop you.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be like that. Players can't just live off reputation and just expect week on week, or just because I'm, important to the club, or there's only me that can do this job. Nah, there's plenty of young'uns in that reserve team that will probably put in a bit more better performance and a bit more enthusiasm than what has been going on lately. It's all attitude, and it's just maybe morale's low. It could be because they're tired, but again, tiredness. Yes. The professional athletes, but at the end of the day, they get paid and they do the training. We've got specialist people at the club that should be looking after them and making sure they're getting fueled right and knowing when they're low on fatigue to take them off intensity certain training schemes or whatever they're doing. But another thing we need to work on is our attacking play, because the attacking play is just poor. Shooting, attacking, it's so poor. We've got to, in my opinion, we've got a half decent defence. And when the midfield's playing together, when Job, Neil, and Chrissy Rigg are playing together, it is fire. We need to work on what the final third play, because that's, in my opinion, that's the problem at the minute. We can, create chances, and we can get players up the top like Roberts and things like that. But where's the end product? Where's these players coming in and finishing them? I would prefer to see even Job getting into the box a lot more when these crosses are coming in, because we kind of just rely on Wilson and Lafay maybe coming in and from the left getting in the box and finishing off. It's not going to work. We need more than that.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Kingfisher says, please like and subscribe. Cheers, Kingfisher. David Walker says, no hope of top 2. Ian Wilkinson says, spot on. He says, Hull players are tired. It's attitude and ability. Job doesn't break sweat. D Hall says Lafay and Ballard out for up to 6 to 8 weeks with hamstrings is worrying. You see, you don't know what's gonna happen. Does Job know on his mind he's already gonna be away by the end of the season? I mean, that's gonna affect the minute. It's like, well, I'm not gonna be here anyway next season. Do you know what I'm saying?
If we don't get in the Prem next season, Job's away. He deserves better, really. Like, he's quality, and he's going to be quality.
What do you think about?
Yeah.
What do you think about some of the fans are saying like the owners didn't want Sunderland to go up?
Oh, honestly, man, I've heard belters, man. I've even heard somebody today on Facebook saying, "Oh, it might be because we're watering the pitch too much." I was like, "Oh, come on, man." It's like some people just go and look into it way too much like that. The owners don't want it to go up. If anything, we're going to be getting more money into the club, and they're going to be, lining the pockets a little bit more. So why wouldn't they? The TV run in the Premier League, they're going to get a decent amount of money there.
I don't know. I don't know. I do think the Leeds United defeat's done a lot of damage mentally for the players. It's just purely the fact, like, the manner of that defeat, the manner of the defeat must have just zapped any good energy what they had left in that team. Because I know it's done it with me, and it's done it with all the supporters. Being 5 seconds away from getting a point. That must have absolutely drained out their sorry arses any positive that they had there. And do I think there was a little bit of them feeling sorry for themselves coming up against Hull? Yeah, I do. But where's your motivation to play in like in 40,000 crowd at the stadium? You're like, shouldn't that be enough to get you to want to fight for every ball and to win and stuff? That's what I cannot understand. I mean, it must be amazing to be in their shoes, to put a red and white top on and go out in front of that crowd. And do you know what I mean?
I would have given out anything for that when I was younger.
Well, you know?
It's like when you play football, you picture yourself playing in your team stadium, didn't you? And like you said, Cabby, there's 44,000 there on Saturday, so how, it's like, there must have been to be in that stadium on Saturday, there must have been a decent atmosphere to drive them up, and it's just, I don't know, it annoys us a bit, because they don't know. I don't think some of them know how, like, what's the word for it? How lucky they are, you know what I mean? Like you say, they put on that shirt to go out and play professional football, and you're playing in, England's second top division, which is a very competitive league. Any way you look at it, a lot of players have made careers from playing in the Championship first and then moving on, into bigger teams. And, a lot of players get scouted in the Championship for bigger clubs. There's loads of opportunities for players in the Championship. But they've got to have the right attitude. It's like going into work. If you go into work just because something happened on your last shift and you're still going into work moping about because of what happened in your last one.
Aye.
Somebody's going to be saying, "Oh, man, sort yourself out a bit." You know, you've got to be professional, and I agree with you. The Leeds defeat, might have had a decent effect on them, and it could have dropped morale, which is fine and it's normal. But they've got to pick themselves up, and we've got to have people at the club to pick these players up. Whether psychologists or whatever there is, I don't know what to do, but they've got to be there for the players, and the players have got to turn to them.
Ian Wilkinson says the performance would not have happened if Henderson was playing proper captain. He says that's why we should have really gone and got him. We're lacking a leader, do you think? Are we lacking a leader?
Like I said a couple of weeks ago, CABBIE, we've got nobody in there to drive that team up. We haven't got a Cataball, we haven't got a Kevin Ball, we haven't got, like a Keno. We've got nobody who's going to say, there's nobody in that team. I mean, look online has a go at it, but he's hardly getting his point across,
Did you see any Sunderland players at all? I don't know if Jacob's still awake or not, but did you see any Sunderland players trying to rile the team up to say, "Come on, lads, let's get this going. Let's get together"? Did you see any of that? Because I didn't.
Not really, no.
Your camera's froze again, Richard. Are you still there? Are you still there, mate?
Yeah.
I think it's Davey still playing up, trying to hack in the system.
Yeah, Jacob, did you see any of that? Because I didn't spot any of.
Not really, no.
No. David Graham, it's John 73 says 1-0 half time Sheffield United. David Graham says tough away game at Hillsborough on Friday night against Sheffield Wednesday. At least the next game after that at home to Cardiff is back at 3 p.m. on a Saturday finally. Pixel Rich says watching in, lads, the 5-year plan is up this season. Would another year in the Championship be detrimental? I've many opinions. I mean, the only answers I get from that, if Sunderland had another season in this Championship, is the fact, like, would we be weaker because a lot of the players would go?
We would have to rebuild 100%. We would lose. We would lose Job. I think we would lose Dan Neil. I think we would lose Ballard, possibly Sirkin, Isidore maybe, because Leeds wouldn't want him. We would have to rebuild again, but we can't just keep getting these unknown players. You know what I mean, from other leagues, and they don't know how competitive the Championship is, because the likes of Rusin and players like that and Barr, and they just got swallowed up by the Championship. They got found out very quickly. I'm sure you mentioned that, CABBIE, where we're saying that we're just signing loads of these unknown players, and it's like that lad who we're linked with from the German league. I've seen on a lot of comments, people are like, no, he's another unknown, and I thought, they're right. Who is this player? He's playing in like Germany's 2nd or 3rd division or something. Well, what happened to the good old days of being able to loan players and getting players from the Premier League that are not getting the games at top clubs coming down to the Championship and doing very well, like we did with Diallo? That's what we should be doing, getting players like them in.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Diallo, that got us into the playoffs, wasn't it, that season with Tony Mowbray? Ian Wilkinson says, players not frightened of Neil as captain. All are just a bunch of mates. Dougie Stewart says, do you think it's something to do with Dodds going? Somebody else is saying that we have lost the last 2 games. I don't think it affects the Leeds game. I think Leeds were just... they are a decent side, but I do think Leeds were very lucky at the end as well, because it was a sliced... I don't know whether it was a shot or whatever, but it was a proper banana boat shot, and it went straight to one of their players. There was a little bit of luck involved in that. David Walker says Lefay will be gone as well if we didn't get promoted. Ian Wilkinson says none of them are major losses who are really Prem quality. Kingfisher says whatever happens, we'll have money from the sales. We just need to invest wisely. David Graham says, is there anybody on the channel going to Wembley on May the 24th to see Sunderland playing in the playoff final if we get there? I'm not saying no about that one. But Kingfisher, saying invest wisely, but I don't know. I just think the owners have blown it big time. I just think the owners have blown it big time, especially January. They had a chance to do what they needed to do, and they've completely went the opposite way. And they've just made a right pig's hash here of it, to be honest with you. Yet they got Lafayette, do you know what I mean? And they got Lafayette really early on, and a lot of fans were saying, well, it shows you our owners must be going all out now to get promotion because we've got Lafayette early on. And it was unusual, wasn't it, to have a high caliber player like that done so quick. And then there was nothing. That was it. That was it through the rest of the January transfer window. Nothing. Oh, young lad at the death or whatever from Liverpool.
Do you think we spent a bit too much on the fee? Do you think because we're paying a massive wage to him, you know? And I'm sure there was a loan fee involved. I don't know how much it was though, but I'm sure there was. So maybe it's just depleted. We're getting him in.
You don't know. I mean? Could it affect the other lads at the fact like high up? He's on all these wages a year, and you know I'm not. And
it's 50 grand. I think he's on. You know.
I don't know what it is. We are. Looty says pressure is on for us to beat Sheffield Wednesday for sure. Can we handle the pressure? 12 games left. How are the lads? Ollie Alexander says, if we get promoted, will Clark come back if Ipswich got relegated? And I'm mad because Manchester United is having a bad season in the Prem. More chance of Clark coming back. No chance with Diallo. If anything else, Diallo will just get to a better club than Man U.
Just signed a new contract. He's on 120 grand a week. So
is he? Disillusion says, why has Regis Sabri constantly played the one-trick pony Roberts and Rig when everyone could see he's been poor for the last 4 or 5 games? And Big Davey always says this as well, is the fact that you can guarantee Patrick Roberts gets a start every single game, especially here at home. It doesn't matter how bad a game he plays, he's getting a start, and his boots are there waiting for him to put on before he goes into the dressing room.
And he's another one that needs a bit of a boot up the backside, I think.
Yeah, I know. John says Sunderland just suppliers for other clubs every single season. We've not spent Stewart's money yet, says Ian. Please like and subscribe, says Kingfisher. Cheers. Pixelovich says the injury to Lafayette means we may never see him in his natural position this season, of course. And so we've got a couple of minutes left of the show. Are you confident on Friday then? I'm not confident, but I want to see a really good performance from Sunderland to get my confidence growing back again. Davey always laughs at me saying my glasses are always half empty. Well, I haven't even got a glass at the minute. I want to see a drastic improvement on Friday so I can start believing again for this season. Because at the minute I feel shot to bits. I don't know how you lot feel.
Yeah.
I think it's a little blip at the minute, but I've got to keep the faith, you know.
Yeah, 100%, Jago. Yeah.
It could be worse. We're better. We're miles better than this time last season. We've got to. I guess it's a bad blip we're going through, but if we trace our minds back to this time last season, where were we? That's all I can say. So we could be worse. We could be Middlesbrough fans, or we could be Luton fans, you know. So we're acting like we're in a relegation battle, but we're not. We are still in that top half, so we, you know. But yeah, things do need to change. No doubt about it.
David says he's going to Sheffield Wednesday on Friday. I just want to see an improved performance. I want to see what them players can do, because I know that they're capable of doing it.
Come out and look as if we want to actually win the match and just have a, like you say, just a better attitude. We're going to know within the first maybe 15, 20 minutes what the crack is, but like, I can't see we're scoring loads of goals, but yet again, it's Sunderland, so you just don't know what might happen, you know what I mean? But we've got to start building now, and we've got to get victories. So no matter, it doesn't matter how many goals we score, we just need to win games now. Even if it's these 1-0, you know what I mean? Even if it's a boring match and we still win it,
yeah,
at least we're getting more points, you know what I mean? And I think it's just, we're just going to have to wait and see what what sort of Sunderland turns up.
You don't want to be going into the playoffs shot to bits on confidence, do you? No chance, do you? That's one thing you didn't want. And I just want to see the Sunderland fans walking away from Hillsborough happy. I just want to see a solid Sunderland performance to say, well, that was better. Do you know what I mean? I want to see that first half performance against Leeds for the whole of the game against Sheffield Wednesday. Maybe it's a spell of 15 minutes either at the start of the game, because I expect Sheffield Wednesday to come out as they were home in front of a big crowd. But, you know, I want to see that intensity that they showed against Leeds in the first half, because they've shown they can do it.
Stick some tapes on from when the start of the season. You know what I mean? Hell of a difference.
It's a huge difference, isn't it? Mm. And it annoys me when people keep saying, "Oh, they're burnt out." Well, it's the fact, like the professionals, the athletes. You know what I mean? It shows you it's not working if that is the case, because that's going to happen every season. 12 games left. Your kids are burnt out and knackered. Is that going to be your excuse every single season? Oh, the young kids, you see, that they're burnt out, they're knackered.
Imagine telling Alex Ferguson that when he had the
Why, I know that. I know.
Aye. Swing's got to, we've just got to suss out what it is. We really have to suss out what it is. But
Pixelovich here, smashing show again. Thanks, lads. It's Ian Wilkins says Sheffield Wednesday stuffed off Burnley 4-0 and played canny. Will he make changes? One Mundle for Lafay, Meffin for Ballard. That would be it. He says, yeah, different team on Friday. John says 3-0 Sunderland. I'm not going to give a prediction. Are you giving any predictions, Jacob, Rich? What are you going for?
I'll go for a 1-0. 1-0.
Jacob, what you going for?
2-1 Sunderland.
You're going 2-1. On Sky again. We don't want to be losing 3 games on the bounce on Sky, do we?
No.
Oh, definitely not.
But anyway, cheers for popping on the pair of yous.
Right, cheers, lads. Cheers.
No bother when the next show will be, because Ian Wilkins has gone 2-2, because we're playing on Friday, aren't we? We could possibly do another show on Thursday, the day before we play him.
Yeah, if you want, aye. Mm-hmm.
So
I'm down.
Right, so I will say good night. Cheers, Jacob. Cheers, Richard. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Cheers. Easy, man.
Take care.
See you later. Ta-ra.